distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good afternoon, Nisambula Vinaka, Salaam Alaikum, Namaste. I am indeed pleased to be here, and I welcome you all most warmly for participating in the regional launch of the United Nations Free and Equal Campaign in the Pacific. To all of you who have traveled from across the region to participate in this important event, welcome to Fiji. I sincerely thank the United Nations and partners of the regional campaign for organizing today's event and for their commitment to eliminating violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender equality. I would also like to pay tribute to many activists from civil society working to promote respect for the rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex people in the Pacific. Without your work, we would not be here today. So thank you. I am a proud ally of the cause for LGBTI equality and of free and equal campaign. I refuse to be silent in the face of prejudice of any kind. As the President of Fiji, I stand for the rights of all Fijians and of all Pacific Islanders, no matter who they are or whom they love. Silence is the biggest enemy in the fight for equal rights. The stigma that forces LGBTI people to live in fear and shame thrives on silence. Let us break this together by standing up and speaking out. That is the only way we will ever be able to end homophobia and transphobia and put an end to the violence and discrimination that we all have seen or heard of. I know of cases of young transgender people who have been forced to interrupt their education much too early because of bullying that was so severe they did not want to go back to school any longer. I know of teenage girls who have been raped, even by their own family members, with the outrageous justification that this violence would change their sexual orientation. I know of gay men who have been arrested and detained on charges of simply loving someone of their own sex. There are no excuses that can justify these violations of human rights. These examples could make you lose faith in mankind. But you and I have not lost ours. Far from it. I know that we can change, as we must, these homophobic and transphobic attitudes. It was only 5 years ago that Fiji decriminalized same-sex relations. Today, we have the most advanced legislation in the Pacific, as laid out in our Constitution, which bans any forms of discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity and expression. We have gone a long way in a short time, and so can other countries, if they have the will to do so. But of course, legal reform alone cannot eradicate prejudice. We need enlightenment through education and awareness. We know much more today about the nature of sexual orientation and sexual identity, and that knowledge has brought about understanding and change. We now know that what we viewed as perversion or even mental disease is little more than a difference in a person's makeup. Gender identity and orientation cannot be put into neat little boxes. And we have also learned that fear and ignorance are our worst enemies. We can eliminate fear through education. And when we eliminate fear, we will not just eliminate prejudice, we will crush stigma and violence that spawns it. So even if the law allows people to be who they are, attitudes often take longer to change. This is why the platform for discussion and awareness raising that the Free and Equal campaign offers is so important. I believe the campaign can amplify the call that has been made across the world for equality for all people and to bring the same call to the Pacific. I appeal to my fellow heads of state and colleagues in government across the Pacific region to hear this call and to see how you can join the fight for LGBTI equality. We all need to examine what we can do better, how we can take further steps, what practical measures can be adopted to protect the human rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex people. I would also like to reach out to everyone else across the Pacific to see what together we can do to make a change. By reacting to and criticizing a homophobic joke, by openly supporting a family member who is LGBTI, or by interfering in bullying or of a student. These may seem like mere drops in the sea, but together they can create an ocean of change. Together we can and we will build a Pacific that is free and equal. Thank you. Vinaka Bakalevu, Shukriya, Bahut, Dainawad.